to yield to the gentlelady from St. Louis, Missouri, Vice Chair of this committee. Congressman Bush, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
St. Louis, and I thank you, Chairwoman, for convening this important hearing. I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record the experiences of 17 women across 5 federal facilities, which have been provided by the National Council of Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. In these emails, women in federal custody detail horrifying accounts of not being allowed to get out of their beds all day because of COVID lockdowns, being forced to eat expired food, having little to no access to medical services to treat cancers and other underlying conditions, having to pay $2 to file a sick complaint. This is all happening under your watch. These are complaints coming from not one or not 2 facilities, but 5 different facilities, which makes clear that these issues are not isolated, but they're systemic. These women cannot hold you accountable, Mr. Carvajal. They cannot, but we can. And I would like to use this opportunity to ask you questions that they cannot directly ask you out of fear of retaliation. So Mr. Carvajal, yes or no, are you aware of these complaints across so many of your facilities?
Congresswoman, I'm not aware of those particular complaints, but I'm certainly interested in hearing from you and your staff so that we can look into them, because I find that if that happened, I find it unacceptable.
Thank you. Thank you. Our staff will be in touch. Thank you for that. Are complaints filed by people in BOP custody being logged, and am I able to access those logs?
We absolutely keep a log of complaints. We take all allegations seriously. We have an Office of Internal Affairs. We follow the process. We work with the Office of Inspector General, and when needed, other law enforcement agencies, and certainly the FBI and investigatory agencies. We take all of those complaints and allegations seriously, and we look into them.
Am I able to access the logs?
Congresswoman, if you'd like, I could have my staff reach out to you, see if we have particular information you're interested in, and if we can, we will provide that to you.
Thank you. Thank you. In the midst of a raging pandemic that has made incarcerated individuals uniquely vulnerable, rather than allowing people to serve their sentences from their homes with their families and away from the trauma and abuse of the BOP system, the federal prison population has grown. Keeping them in prison, it is an act of cruelty. In April of last year, you told the Senate Judiciary Committee that 50 to 75% of those incarcerated have been reviewed for home confinement, and that 24,000 out of over 150,000 people in federal custody have been placed in home confinement. As of today, have all of those incarcerated been reviewed for home confinement now instead of the 50 to 75%?
Congresswoman, we review all eligible inmates for home confinement under the CARES Act. We did that. We've placed over 37,000 inmates. 9,000 of those, more than 9,000, were specific under CARES Act placement. Those are 9,000 inmates that would not be out in community custody at this point in their incarceration. And our population is actually reduced, Congresswoman.
Okay, well, we looked at the website earlier today. So is the website inaccurate?
I'm not certain which information you're referring to.
We went to the Bureau, the Federal Bureau of Prisons website. 2 weeks ago, I, along with Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, we sent a letter seeking clarification from the Bureau on the implementation of the Office of Legal Counsel's new guidance for those on home confinement under the CARES Act. We asked for a response no later than February the 7th of this year. Can we get a commitment from you that such a response is forthcoming, Mr. Carvajal?
Congresswoman, I'm aware of your letter, and we are certainly working on answering it. Understand, please, that there is a clearance process of which I do not control, but we are committed to getting you a response to your letter.
Thank you. My office will be in contact. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back.